Just Play updates are here. Stay tuned.
Welcome to NES Hacks.
So the Just Play build has changed a little bit. I'm going to show you guys around a little bit, and I'm going to do some gameplay, and why the heck not. So we have the PC Engine / TurboGrafx. I'm going mostly with North American releases. There is some things in here that are not North American releases, but they are English translated. Namely Die Hard. So there's no artwork or anything right now, and I think I'm going to release it this way. It's so much easier and so much less time consuming. I'm trying to give you guys a bunch of homebrew games, good ones, of course, English translated games, good ROM hacks, things of that nature. So this is what's taking so long, is I keep adding games and having to change the playlists in RetroArch, whichever you so choose. But Die Hard is English translated, as well as Knight Rider Special. When we get into Nintendo 64, so you can see I added like Air Border 64. This was a European release. Don't think it came out in North America, but it's English. Animal Crossing from Japan, English. And of course all of the other N64 games as well. Bomberman Arcade Edition, Japan, English. Bust-A-Move 3DX Europe, but it's English, so you know what I mean. Chameleon Twist. So I had read online that the Japanese, and this is the English translated version, they seem the same to me. I didn't get too far in depth, but I've read that the Japanese release was superior to the USA release, so I left them both in there for everybody. A lot of this, like, there's Custom Robo, Densha to Go 64. I'm leaving stuff in there that has been English translated for everyone to enjoy. There's a lot of stuff that's outside of North America that I've never experienced, so I'm not familiar with. Like, here's Gasp's Fighters Next Dream from Europe. No idea. See, I know this one, GoldenEye 007. I think we all do. Holy Magic Century. HSV Adventure Racing. This is from Australia. Lilat Wars from Europe. And I know people are like, wow, this guy's just scrolling games right now, but I basically just giving you an idea of what's coming and what your options are with Just Play. I know this video is probably going to go on longer than normal, but I just want to show you guys what I've done so far, and there will be more added. I've already had some requests with the first look video, so I definitely want to look into that stuff. A lot of it I've never experienced before, so it's going to take some time because I'm not oh, here's one. So Mystical Ninja starring Gomon, knew that. Mystical Ninja 2 starring Gomon, I didn't know that, so that's from Europe. So if you're a fan of the first one, there was a second one, and if you're from North America, maybe you haven't played it. Here's Penny Racers 2. Choro, But the whole point of this video, yes, it's going to go on long, but really, I mean, if you're in isolation, you got not much else to do. I am not in isolation. My work, my 9 to 5 is considered an essential service, and we are continuing to remain open. So I try to be as careful as possible. Sin and Punishment, successor of the Earth, so Japan, but this is English translated. Watched a couple videos on this, read some good things, so definitely give this one a look when you get the opportunity. But, you just see me scrolling through the games here, and, I mean, this is just N64. This is only like 300 and some odd games. It's not a lot. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. So this was Japan, but obviously English translated. Wonder Project J2. And I'm mostly highlighting what's been translated. When we get into NES, I put obviously as many games as possible, but I do want to show 3 that I've added. So I'll just quick scroll these ones. Oop, went a little too far. So Final Fantasy was released in North America. Here's Final Fantasy 2. This is released in Japan, but it is English translated, as well as Final Fantasy 3. When you look at Final Fantasy 7, this was just, I believe it's a homebrew of some sort, but it does work really well. And one of these days, I'm going to do these videos as a live stream. I just got to figure out how to do that. 3 years on YouTube, still don't know. And I'm not sure if my PC will actually get the job done. So that's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant on going live. But this is NES. I mean, this is fast scrolling, and we are not done yet. There's a lot, and I'm gonna launch a game for each system because I do want to show you guys something that I think is cool and that you can change if you don't agree. Okay, Super Nintendo. This is where we get into a lot of English translated games. And some homebrews as well. So if you hear background noise, I apologize. I usually try to shoot my videos early in the morning or late at night. This is kind of like early evening. So Bahamut Lagoon, it's an RPG from Japan. Check this game out. This is English translated, but make sure you give that one a look. Here's Bastard, the Dark God of Destruction. So, play it. Why not? Be a bastard. Bobby's World. So this is a prototype. I played a little bit of it. It's okay. I used to like it. I'm a Howie Mandel fan, so I wanted to show it a little bit of love. And I'm gonna keep going here, guys. Sorry, I gotta open a beer. Work has been crazy busy lately, so I'm treating myself on this night. And I have a bad habit of being a smoker. But like I said, this video is not going to be for everybody because, they're going to be like, oh my god, this guy doesn't shut up and he just keeps scrolling games like it looks blah. One thing I've yet to mention about this is it obviously looks different. I'm using the XMB look. The first video I did was the ozone look, and you can totally change it. This background here is a Sega Genesis mini background that someone's customized. Here are a couple games, sorry to cut myself off there, but Cyber Knight and Cyber Knight 2, give those a look, they're pretty cool. Days Before Christmas is alright, it's a fun little game. But you can see like Donkey Kong Country. So the newest revisions are the ones that I've left in. And here's the competition cartridge, but then you could see, anything that had a revision, I left the latest version in case there was any bugs in earlier revisions. Emerald Dragon, that's another one that's been translated. I know it says USA. I didn't, go into all that. I just left it named the way that I've had it in the past. This XMB version, now that I've changed it, has a nice dark background. Everything seemingly fits within it. I know it's a Sega Genesis style, but I really like it. It's very clean. So this is probably what I'm going with for the release. And like I said, you can change it. I'll show you guys in the future how you can change it. And if you look at how many games we've gone through, we're still on the letter H. So there are a lot. We will be getting, as we go down, we'll be getting more into some of the homebrews and stuff like that. We have to get to S to get there. But I basically just wanted to shoot this video. This is just off the cuff. You know, I'm not worried about background noise or anything like that. I just want you guys to see the games lists that I'm doing. It keeps changing. It keeps growing. Um, it's absolutely crazy. Here comes my heater, and I just got interrupted. But now we're back. So don't mind my squeaky old chair. There are some ROM hacks in here. So NBA Jam Tournament Edition, Old School Edition. This was something a buddy of mine from work wanted his mini SNES Super Nintendo. I can't call it a SNES. His mini SNES, I'll even call it that. He wanted it modded, and I didn't even know about this. So I put it on there for him, and then I was like, man, I'm going to put it on my own. And it's really cool. So I definitely recommend checking this out when you get a hold of this build. As I mentioned, you know, this is cart-based games. And I think some people have been hinting, like, are you going to do Nintendo DS? Man, that's something I have not tackled yet, and I don't know if I'm going to. There's games that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to tackle Nintendo DS. I'm a retro gamer, so I kind of do what I can. With this just play build, like I said, there's no videos and no box art, no wheel art, no cart art, no none of that. Maybe in the future I'll add some packs, but as of right now, I just kind of like scrolling the games list and playing. I mean, that's why I just play. I mean, that's why I named it that. A lot of people think it's the correct name for it, and I think I'm going to stick with it. Um, it was definitely a work in progress name. I just play, right? Now people will be like, well, how can I just play when I got to scroll through all these thousands of games? You're right, in a sense, but it's basically just play and just play games that are here, games that you've never experienced, games that have been translated, games that have been released long after the console was. You know, here's like a Sailor Moon. It says France, yes, but it's English. Sailor Moon R, same thing. When we get into Secret of Mana, a lot of people are big fans of this. So we've got Secret of Mana 2, and this is English translated as well. We're getting into a lot of the extras that I put in. So like Smurfs Travel the World, the Smurfs. That's some good beer. And here's Star Fox, Star Fox 2. So this is not the beta Japanese version. This is actual version, the completed version from the SNES Classic. There's some Street Fighter games that I might add, but I haven't tested them yet. They say Pirate next to them. I'm using no intro ROM sets as well, so I'm gonna look into that for you guys. Super Adventure Islands, Super Back to the Future Part 2. It's a pretty cool game. It's got some Japanese style graphics and stuff like that, but it is English translated, and I enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. When we go, these all say USA, but we only got Super Bomberman and Super Bomberman 2. Super Bomberman 3 is actually from Europe, and Super Bomberman 4 is an English translated Japanese version. In North America, we got Super Bonk. Well, Japan got Super Bonk 2, so I went ahead and put that in. Translated, of course. Super Boss Gaiden. This is a homebrew, I believe, or something like that. But I wanted to throw it in there. So, Super Fire Pro Wrestling. Queen's Special. And then we also have X Premium. And they are, I even threw in Super Game Boy because why the heck not? Like, my basic thing was how many games can I give you guys to enjoy where you can look at like, man, I've never played that. And that kind of excites me. So I hope that it excites others as well when you guys are scrolling through the games. So we have Super Star Fox Weekend. This was like some sort of a competition cartridge, but I wanted to put that in there for you guys. Turrikins. Okay, Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death. So I know that this was like considered homebrew, I guess. I guess that's what you would classify it as, but it's on here as well. So if I load it up, you can see the bezels I'm using. This is Mr. Retro Lusts. I'm pretty sure this was made or produced by Gamester 81. I'm not gonna play a whole bunch here. I'm just gonna show you guys like this is what's going on. So if I want to start, press start. This is not me, by the way. There we go. I have a boomerang. I'm gonna get that bat. Climb up here. This is the first time I've ever played this game. Oh, you get hit once, you're dead. Alright, so I'm gonna close content. And we can move on. I don't know if there's any more in here. Oh, so Treasure Hunter G and Treasure of Rudris are English translated. Trials of Mana. So this was something released on the Nintendo Switch. Somebody ripped the ROM. Here it is for you. Unholy Night, the Darkness Hunter. Unlicensed, whatever you want to call it. This is it's pretty cool as well. But when you launch any Super Nintendo games, you can see you have the Super Nintendo bezel. And I'm going to go to versus mode. Sure. I've never played this. Oh, I would need a second controller. Alright, well, we'll close content. But I mean, when you look at the selection, you know, you can see what you have. But you've seen the... Here, one more real quick. So this is what it looks like when you launch a Super Nintendo game. And Mr. Retro Lust, sorry. I do want to give a shout out because these bezels are fantastic. I'll close content. And if we go back, so let's say I'm playing an NES game. And one of my favorite NES games, and it's so hard, is Bayou Billy. But you can see here's the NES version of the bezel. He's taking Annabelle away. It just takes forever to kill people. Like, I don't know, maybe Bayou Billy's got to work out because that took a lot of shots. But we'll close it up. And we touched on, so I'll show you Die Hard. This, to me, is a hidden gem. And the fact that... Sorry, my squeaky chair. The fact that someone translated this to English, thank you. This is phenomenal. And I love this bezel. The TurboGrafx on the bottom there. And these are dark themes. So basically, or dark bezels, I should say. But they don't interfere with the gameplay, and that's kind of it's a very positive thing in my opinion. But when I go, I punch this guy, take his gun. Now I got a gun. And this is a hidden gem. If you get the opportunity, or if you get this build, which I think you should, but I have a biased opinion, definitely check this game out. It's pretty sweet. I'm not playing well, but... Oh, there's a gun. Alright, so we'll close that out. Close content. Nintendo 64. You look at all these games. It's just awesome. There was something that I played on here the other day, and it was something that I had never experienced before. What I thought was really cool. So I'm gonna try and find it real quick and show you guys, because I played as Vader. It was a wrestling game. Sorry for the quietness here, but I'm actually really trying to find what I had played, but it was English translated as well, which was, for the most part, it was anyways, and I'll show you guys that. Here we go. No. Yes. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. I believe this was it. So let's go ahead and launch this up and check it out. Here's the N64 by Mr. Retro Lust. I think these bezels are fantastic, so I'm going to include them. Yes, this was it. So exhibition, single match, and let's do it in the Tokyo Dome. I have to be against computer. I did the Harrison Hacks belt. Vader's the champ. So I'm not too familiar with a lot of these wrestlers, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, but we do, and you get a lot of people in this game. It's obviously done by Aki, A-K-I, whichever you want to choose. But so like here's Vader, Stan Hansen, good old Johnny Ace, Mike Barton, I'm not familiar. Gary Albright, not familiar. Johnny Smith, and here's Kamala, but they call him Giant Kimala. A bunch of people I don't know. And when we go in here, Scott Norton, so from WCW days. Jushin Thunder Liger, Sato Tanaka, and we have like the Gladiator. Takamichi Noku's up there. There he is. And it you know, here's Funaki. I don't think it's Funaki, but or it don't look like him anyway. But you can see, like, you create your own, obviously. So I will choose Big Van Vader and go face Johnny Ace. Bloodshed, yes. Rope break. I don't like rope break. Drives me nuts. So let's do a match here. Real quick. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this one's going to go on. It's not for everybody. I know I'm just kind of showcasing some certain things, but honestly, I'm really excited about this build. I'm excited to give people as many options, you know, game-wise as possible. So most of this is translated. It's certainly playable. There's no problems. Like, I've had no issues. And since I found this game, I've thoroughly enjoyed it because N64 wrestling games, in my opinion, are the best of all time. Nothing beats them, in my opinion. Now, we all have different opinions, but... Oh, boom. So, Johnny Ace, he's all proud of himself here because he's married to the Bella Twins' mom. I don't know. He thinks he's something. But I don't think Vader's going to let him go here. Leon White's no slouch. It was a nice neck breaker. Oh, good. No reversal. Nice. Yeah, I feel like I'm playing, WrestleMania 2000 or WCW NWO Revenge. Those are two of my favorites. People love No Mercy. I like No Mercy as well, but I never experienced No Mercy until I emulated it. To be quite honest, I had played Attitude, um, but this game right here, I mean, if you're a fan of N64 wrestling games, which most of us are, this is one to certainly check out. And I just beat him. So, go Vader. But we'll close content. And that was Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Again, primarily English translated. They did the best they could. And then here we go into all of our WCWs and WWFs. But here's NES. I showed you guys. I showed you the TurboGrafx. I showed you N64. This. So here's Virtual Boy. So this one's a little bit different. The only game I really like on Virtual Boy is Virtual Boy Wario Land. It's actually, in my opinion, if you've never experienced Virtual Boy, this is the one you want to check out. This is a hidden gem to me. It's a great platformer. I'm a big fan of this game. And again, the bezel here, Mr. Retro Lust did a phenomenal job. This is what it would look like. I mean, if you were looking through the lens of the Virtual Boy, this is where you'd be at. All right. So I know I don't have any sound on or anything like that, but so we can jump, and then we have like speed shoulder, power shoulder, whatever you want to call it. Simple enough. I'll wait for this little frog and drive him. Once I get a new helmet, I can do more. There it is. Now I got like a spiked helmet. So if anybody knows how to get this cloud, I don't get it. I can't get it. So if you know how, let me know. Boom. Bye, Froggy. I haven't heard the word froggy since like Joe Pesci and Lethal Weapon 4. Ah. He's charging me. So here you can just boom. Can't get anything over there. So I need to get a big man or whatever you call it. I always called it a big man as a kid. There's the key. Pick that up. Ah, killed myself. Alright, so that's Virtual Boy there. And I think we got two more that are ready so far. Here is Sega 32X. There it is there. It's got the Mega EverDrive times 3 or X3. I don't know why I chose this game because I don't play it, but here it is. The X-Men prototype for 32X. Looks like they're fighting a bunch of Deadpools. And this is just terrible. But if you're a 32X fan, there's some games. And lastly, Sega Genesis. And there's a lot. As we all know, Sega Genesis has a lot of games. So what I'm going to do here is just go to Cool Spot. And here it is. So Mr. Retrolust has not done like a North American Sega Genesis bezel, but I thought this one is perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. I know it says Mega Drive, blah, 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 and I'm North American, but to be honest, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I think these bezels are just absolutely amazing. Oh, I see where I'm supposed to go now. See, you don't play something for a while and you forget. This was always one of my favorite games. Not bad. Could have done better. But the nice thing about this build is, you know, RetroArch is so universal and has so many different options that you can do. I'm playing terribly tonight. But, so, I mean, bezels, you guys can change them. You can turn them off completely. You can add your own. Um, as far as the playlists, you know, maybe you can't add your own games, but well, you could. You just have to redo the playlists and make sure you do it correctly. There's so many different controller settings in here. I left net play available for people because you never know. Some people like to play net play. Um, when you look at the drivers and all these different settings that you can do, it just, you know, RetroArch made the most sense to me. You know, online updaters. So you want to add a core that I don't have yet, which I'm going to include them all, but maybe one comes out in the future. You can. The ones that you do have installed, boom, let's update them right now. And look at that, one had an update. So there's no thumbnails. When I do use this, believe me, there's a lot of missing ones, and it irks me. I'd rather have none than some. All or none, not some. But just play. At this point, everything that I've added and everything that I've done, this is a portable build. So let's say, like, you guys, you're like, hey man, the first time you showed us it had ozone. Why does it look like this now? So if you went to drivers and you went to menu, you could just change it to ozone. Quit RetroArch, and let's launch it up. There you go. So all your stuff's on the side, just like it was before. If I want to go back to settings, because I do, I actually prefer the XMB. Once you change it, I prefer it. When it's initially the way it looks, but now it looks better. It doesn't look like PS3 as much. I mean, I guess it does, but it doesn't. Um, But you guys let me know. So this is probably going to be the initial release. It'll be like you're getting TurboGrafx with a couple added translated games. N64 with some translated games. Nintendo. There's so many in there, but you do get the Final Fantasy extras. Super Nintendo, there's a lot of translated games, and there's already a lot of North American releases and some European releases. Virtual Boy is what it is. 32X, same thing, and Sega Genesis. These are all North American releases. So let me know what you think about that. I potentially could do like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Some people have asked for some other consoles, so there might be like Patreon only add-on packs or something along those lines. But I think for what I have right now, as far as playlists and like game selection, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be it. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you sticking with me. If you have, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative. I basically just wanted to hang out with you guys and shoot the breeze a little bit about this. And like I said, doing live videos and stuff is probably a better way to go about these videos. But as soon as I know my PC can handle it, I'll go ahead and do some live stuff. But that's going to do it, as I said. So please like the channel, subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, have a good day.